Hi, welcome in to Running Mouths with Congenital Heart Disease. This is episode 7, or episode 12. I'm your host, Josh. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it, guys. Um, this is one of the episodes, about 2 episodes before the Ultra, and I guess we got about 2 more left. I will do another podcast before the Ultra, talk about what to bring, how to pack, stuff like that. And then after the Ultra, do one. But anyways, today I wanted to talk about the long run that I did, the emotions that I went through on the run, and then just talk about ultra training and stuff like that. So thanks for tuning in. So running this week or running last week, I've noticed that my shoes, like I can feel everything. So I think my shoes are shot, and it could be the case because I probably have ran in these shoes for about 400 miles, which I have no idea what they're rated. I always think these shoes should be rated for like 600 miles, but it just might not be the case. And I guess each mile that you run, you just kind of wear in the shoes, and then eventually they're not like how they used to be when you first bought them. So it's just tough that way because these running shoes are like $100, right? For a new pair, and training for this Ultra, I've gone through 2 or 3 pairs of running shoes. So I mean, this Ultra is costing a lot of money, which I never planned on. Really, when I signed up, I never had a clue of how much money it would cost to run an Ultra. You kind of just think, okay, I'm going to sign up for this, and sign up for the Ultra costs you money, but then you're going to have to buy everything that comes with it unless you already have it, right? So especially if you're running in the winter, you need winter gear, and then if it's going to rain, the day of your marathon, you're going to have to buy all kinds of waterproof stuff. So it definitely adds up. I would like to get some kind of estimate. Plus all the, if you get injured, as I did, you got to account for all the creams and all the extra time that you need to rest and to try to heal your body. So I would say that running an Ultra, however fast you run it, right? Let's say you cut my time in half, right? Because you're just a regular runner. And maybe you can do an Ultra in 7 hours, 8 hours, right? But maybe you get injured as well, or there's a lot of factors that you're probably not thinking about before you run the Ultra. So I would say let's discuss. So let's discuss time. So obviously, you need lots of time for the Ultra. That's a given, right? If you plan ahead and you're looking at your time, or you're looking at your schedule, right, for the Ultra, and you're training for it before you sign up, I guess. I don't know how people do it. For me, I kind of just signed up, not really knowing what was involved. I just kind of signed up before I looked at how much time it's going to take and all that stuff. Anyways, but if you don't do it that way, if you kind of look at a schedule before you sign up, then maybe that might discourage you from signing up. I don't know. So if we look at time and you look at how fast you can run, you know, whether your mile is 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes a mile, right? And you can calculate how much time that's going to be during your run. So on top of that time, there needs to be a time for recovery. And if you get injury, you got to add on more time for the ice packs and creams and stuff like that. So, and injuries. Okay. So, yeah, time, definitely, it's more time than you can imagine that you need. Okay, so let's go to money. So, money-wise, it's really expensive. So, and I hope I'm not discouraging anybody, but basically, I would say you want 2 pairs of shoes on running day, okay? Because you can bring your drop bag, and you're going to be able to switch out shoes, running shoes, you know, whatever the case, if it's raining that day, or something wrong with your shoe or something. Anyways, so you're going to bring 2 pairs of shoes there, and they need to be kind of good shoes, you know, not bad shoes, okay? So let's say you buy your shoes $200, you know, some running shoes are $160. So that's like $200 a pair of shoes, right? So, basically, you're training for this ultra. It's going to be a lot of training, a lot of miles on the shoes, right? I think in 1 week I ran 70 miles. No, I think it was 72 miles in 1 week. So in a month, you know, you're looking maybe like 150 miles, 150 in a month, 2 months. That's 300 miles. I don't know if might be more than that. I should write it down, calculate it. But anyways, guys, listen. You're going to have to get another pair of shoes, okay? Even if you already have a pair of shoes, you might have to get another one, or you will need to get another one, okay? So, and if you already have the winter gear, that's great. You're going to save yourself some money. But if you don't have the winter gear, or, you know, if you're not running in the winter time, then that's fine. You don't need to buy all that other stuff. If you're running during the summer, or whatever you need, you might need to buy something for the ultra, whether it's socks or shoes, okay? So I would say a great budget to have would be about maybe $300 to $500 extra to what you think you're going to spend for the shoes and stuff. I would say, yeah, okay. That's the money part. Now let's go to family. So you might want to sit down and talk to your family about the ultra and go over to timesheet, go over the money or whatnot, and see if the family is on board with it, because like I said, it's a lot of time and a lot of money, and I find myself sometimes the family is not happy because all my time goes into running, and and when I get back from running, I'm like really tired, so I can't function correctly, and it's hard to get full attention from me after at least the long runs, right? Not the days that I go for just my hour run, but more of the long runs are really stressful for the family sometimes because I can be very tired. So I would say it is a huge commitment to sign up for an ultra. So you definitely want to talk to your family, your friends, and see if they're on board with it, and just talk to them about how much time it can take, and especially gearing up to the end of this thing. You know, you're running you're running almost a marathon every time you go out training, for the last month at least. So, so I ran on Friday, and that I ran for 9 hours, no sleep. So I was up on Thursday, all day. Okay, it was my rest day, so I didn't do any training that day. And then nighttime came, and I was looking at it, and I was thinking I could get an hour or two of sleep. But with my slow pace, there was no way I could do that. So actually, I ended up putting the kids to bed and then going out on Friday and running. Or good, it was Thursday night into Friday morning, right? So, and ended up getting 36 miles in 9 hours. I didn't do myself any favors because I ran on this construction path that they were building in my town, and it's really nice because you don't have to worry about cars or anything, and it is kind of scary because it's pitch black, and there wasn't a moon out, so that's pretty scary. But always packing a pocket knife with me just in case I run into any problems. So I would say, yeah, I was running that run on that path, and it was just really nice, and it's relaxing, and I wasn't thinking correctly, and as soon as I knew it, I think it took me a mile to get there, and then I ran 5 miles on it. Then I ran 5 miles back. Then I got back on my path that I always go on, and I didn't get to water until like mile 13. So, and it was, I think, 2.5 hours with no water. So, yeah, something was going on with my stomach, and I just don't know. My knees were hurting. Everything was hurting, and I was running so slow. It was weird because, I don't know, like at the beginning of the run, I was like, every 4 miles it would be an hour. Like, it was just ridiculous. I don't know what was going on because I felt like I was running fast, but it was weird. Definitely weird. In that sense, I thought I was going, or I felt better than I actually was running, I guess, in a sense. But anywho, yeah. So I wouldn't recommend going 13 miles without any water. I think that kind of shot my run, in a sense. My stomach was hurting, and I think mile 25, after mile 25, I was kind of walking and running. I got to a garage or a gas station, and the guy wouldn't let me use the bathroom because he says it's closed between the hours of 4 and 7. So I ended up having to go in the woods. Kind of sucks, you go to these 24-hour places, and sometimes the restroom's not open, which you would think, when you plan your route, they're thinking this stuff would be open. But anyways, so it wasn't a good run, and it also could be of no sleep. So I didn't have any sleep, and I don't know what kind of factor that played in, but we'll find out next long run, because I think I'm going to do 25, and I'll have plenty of sleep before this run, so we'll see. Maybe you skip the run. I mean, it was really hard to run 36 miles on no sleep. Definitely 100%. It was really tough. And my goal was 40. I was trying to get to 40, and I kind of second guessed myself of, should I be doing the 60 miler or 62 miler, or should I just change the race to 50K, which would be 31 miles, right? But I mean, I already ran a 50K, and I did that last week. So in a sense, I'm thinking, well, no, you shouldn't do that just to say you finished. I mean, I feel like that's taking the easy way out. So I feel like, yeah, that would be easy. I mean, it's not easy. Definitely 50K is hard. But since I've trained past it, I feel like, an ultra, they say you're not supposed to train like a marathon. So, well, anything I've read. So in a sense, you're not supposed to get to almost the mileage that you're supposed to get to, right? Just because time, I think, is why they say that. Anyways, so yeah, I'd still go for the 100K and the 62 miles, just in the sense that, I mean, I think you always have a chance to change your race distance before the race, at least a week before maybe. You have to check the rules. But yeah, I still, I always think about changing the race, especially when you're so tired and stuff. But I think if you come up with a strategy, you get it done. And like I said, I've already ran a 50K, so don't want to take the easy way out on race day for sure. So we'll see how I feel after this long run, and how easy it was, how hard it was with some sleep. Maybe the factor was no sleep, so that could have helped. Then another factor could have been no water for 13 miles. That could have done something to my stomach as well. So yeah, so okay, so keep that in mind. You can always switch the race day, but only do it if you have to, I guess. Be strong out there and focus on what you've signed up for. So let's walk you through my week, starting with Friday. Or no, let's start with Sunday. So Sunday I rested. Monday I worked out with weights. Tuesday I ran for an hour. Wednesday I ran for an hour. Thursday I rested. Friday did the 36 miles. So it was about I got about 44 miles that week. So not too many, I'd say. But most of them coming on Friday. And should you sign up for an ultra? Well, if you look at the time, you have the money, and you talk to your family about it, and everybody's okay with it, then I would say go ahead and sign up. But I would also say you don't know what you're getting yourself into, because these things are like on a different level. Like, I had no idea what I signed myself up to. Like, I don't know. I've done a marathon before, ran the miles, done it. But this thing, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Just the training and the time. It's just ridiculous. So this, and the hurt on your body that you put is crazy. So, yeah. Should you sign up for a marathon? Yes, but understand that it's going to be different from a marathon for sure. Okay? You probably don't think about it right now. I didn't either. But it's 100% different, and it's a different ball game. Okay? Especially if you're really slow running. It's going to be really different. Okay? So, keep that in mind. And I hope that answered some questions for you guys. And I appreciate you tuning in. And I'll catch you on the next episode. All right. Y'all have a good run.